Welcome to the Breastfeeding Art Expo. We're here at the wonderful location of the Mastermind Soundstage Studios in Kamloops. It's Wednesday, April 11th, and we're going to take a little tour. So let's take a look at this. This is one of the independent artworks. So we had about 70 artists who independently submitted an art piece, and this is called Rhapsody in Blue. And Rhapsody in Blue is a photographic journey. The father puts some blue non-toxic paint on the baby's foot, and then the baby starts its breastfeeding, and the fourth picture is the baby breastfeeding at about half an hour, and the last one, the baby's fallen asleep. And you can see that breastfeeding is not a static activity. The baby is continually touching, moving, all that bonding and close time that's so important for a young baby, that helps in its development. We have 15 community art projects that are part of the Breastfeeding Art Expo, and this is one of them. This is a Kamloops-based project, and it's called the Human Milk Project. It's an amazing project. It was done with Thompson Rivers University in collaboration with a nurse who's also an artist, a graduate from Emily Carr University. And what she did was she looked at human breast milk, and they examined it under the electron microscope and took these amazing photographs, black and white photographs. And these are actually photographs of human breast milk. And when you look closely at some of the images, you can see the bacteria, the healthy bacteria that are inside human milk. You can see the white blood cells and some of the other cells, and pictures of the human breast milk. And this is a really interesting area of new research where we're looking at the role of healthy bacteria that then colonize. They come from the mother's breast milk and then colonize the gut of the baby. And then the artist also created these amazing large plastic petri dish reproductions of the breast milk. And you can actually see and hear the bacteria growing on the petri dish gel. And then the artist took one of the photographic images and reproduced it into a amazing acrylic painting as well. So up here, high up on the wall, we've got this amazing piece by April Mazzelli, and she worked with a young family that was having a home birth, and she took hundreds of photographs, and out of those hundreds of photographs, she selected 4 photographs that she used in this collage of the medicine wheel. And it really shows those early moments and how important the early moments are in that bonding. And we know that that first half hour when the baby's put on the mother's body is really important, that skin to skin, for healthy initiation of breastfeeding. Oh, and this piece, we mustn't miss this piece because it's on the poster for the Kamloops Art Expo. And it's such a beautiful piece. It was a Nelson project, and this was a bust of a woman, and we used a rubber baby. They didn't use a real baby. They created the cast and then sanded it down, and then another artist interpreted the mother's story and the painting. And what's really interesting about this is the umbilical cord is actually braided sweetgrass, which I think is just such a beautiful, beautiful contribution there with the teepee and the northern lights and the waterfalls, and it just really, puts mother into nature in that traditional breastfeeding. So one of the highlights of the show. We've got all kinds of art in this expo, from drawings to sculpture. We've got this amazing sculpture of the humpback whales nursing their calves, to photographs, to pointillism, to more traditional sort of acrylic. We've got lace, embroidery work, we've got collage, and on this side we have some fun contributions from some of the men artists who contributed to the Art Expo. This one called Celebrate Breast Milk, with the maternity bra and some of the fun statements for the guys. And we've got this amazing photographic project where the women, there's 50 stories in here from 50 women breastfeeding with photographs. We included mammals as well, because we're a mammal and all the mammals breastfeed. So we've got pigs over there, we've got some bears and gorillas. This is called Dad's Gift, and it's just a fun look at all those things that dads can do when mom is breastfeeding from, this is a dad's perspective, so measuring with a measuring tape, playing with the baby, taking it for walks, taking pictures of the baby, and having baths with the baby, all that things that dads can do to bond with the baby. We also have collage. We just had a school tour and I asked the students what's their favorite. One of the students chose the collage piece. It's quite an amazing collage effort with the different colors, and it's really beautiful. Lots more busts over on this side. And then as we move down here, we've got more photographic images. This was done at Vernon at the Okanagan Indian Band. They looked at 3 breastfeeding mothers and the supports that are around those mothers. And this is in an ideal situation. A breastfeeding mother would have good support, such as a doula or maybe even a midwife or lactation support nurse, or family members that are supporting that mother to breastfeed are really important. And as we move across here, you see the amazing green screen at the Mastermind Studios here that they're using for their film footage and video productions. For us, for an art gallery, it was amazing to have these beautiful, tall green walls. We hung the paintings down with these chains, and it's just really a beautiful effect for some of the larger pieces in the Art Expo. This is a piece done with students in Nelson where they worked with encaustic wax, and each of the students did their own interpretation of what they thought about with breastfeeding. It's been great to have students involved. We just did 2 tours of students coming through, and it's really great to hear the students' impression of breastfeeding, and to get a different kind of exposure. This is a fun project that was done in Enderby. It's a breastfeeding fountain. The mom's at the top, and her milk, which is water, is flowing down into the fountain, and they smashed teacups and then created this beautiful mosaic. This is part of a series of busts that were done in encaustic wax. Encaustic wax is a combination of beeswax and tree resin, and that gives it a very amazing look to it. It's so real and such a beautiful creation by the artist, so it was a great contribution to the Art Expo. And over on this wall we have a totally different type of picture. This is a multimedia piece that was submitted by one of the fellows, the fellow artists, and the lock in the middle is a very ancient lock. It represents that breastfeeding has been around with us forever, of course. And it's unlocked, meaning that all the great things in breast milk, the immunity factors, the healthy bacteria, can be unlocked in human milk. And these locks around the edge, these are dating from 1850. And that's the date, the actual date around when infant formula was developed. And they're locked because while we can get lots of good vitamins and minerals into the infant formula, we can't get those the living factors, the bacteria, the immunity, the antigens into the breast milk. So those remain locked. And the blue represents the corporate world, because when infant formula was developed, billions of dollars have been made on infant formula at the expense of women and families who breastfeeding was taken away from them. And we also did there were some wonderful community projects. One of them, this one here, was done with children. And you can see it's a really fun and whimsical 3D acrylic look at breastfeeding. And we've got lots of animals in there as well, and fun pictures that the children put in. And all of these community art pieces will be donated back out into the community across the interior health regions. So you may start seeing some of these in your community sort of over the next couple of months. And we have this beautiful acrylic collage painting that was done in a Kelowna-based project working with new immigrants into Canada, which was a great opportunity to share stories from around the world about breastfeeding. And there's lots more amazing, beautiful pictures on the second green screen wall. Again, just such a great venue to be able to hang our art. And one of the most exciting parts of this expo is the film viewing area. And with this project, every single community art project had a film created. And there were hundreds of hours of filming that was done, hundreds of hours of editing to create 20 final films. And so they capture all the stories that go with the community art projects. And if you missed the Breastfeeding Art Expo, today is the last day of the expo. You can view all of them on our YouTube channel, and you can access it on breastfeedingartexpo.ca. And there's really some amazing, wonderful films that capture the teenagers, the seniors, the children, all the people that were, the First Nations communities that were involved in the community art projects. And we're ending here on the panels that we've created on the importance of breastfeeding, which talk about the benefits to babies, the benefits to moms. We now know that breastfeeding not only benefits babies, but it also makes for healthier moms. It saves families money, and it's great for the environment because we don't have any packaging. And our very final panel over here sort of looks at the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding in hospitals, and these would be the steps that we would like to see implemented in all hospitals across British Columbia as well as Canada. That's our long-term dream. It's one of the things we've been working very hard with this expo. This expo is about beautiful art, and as you can see, there's amazing art here. But it's also about making change, and we've been having discussions with the public, discussions within government, and discussions with the media about what can we do to make it easier and better for mothers to be breastfeeding. And that's very much what the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. So it's been a great show. Thank you very much for coming out to the Breastfeeding Art Expo.